And when the president heard about it, and he said, what is going? He said, come on. These Fulani people again? So her name, he yanked her off. Wrote her a letter of, it was an embarrassing moment. In the next 20 minutes, I will be exposing the Fulani scandals right in the Middlebelt, in their university, and also how the Fulanis have been able to carve the Middlebelt to become Northerners, and how the Middlebelters today are coming out from their shells to claim their real identity. Well, some of you must have heard what is going on in University of Abuja, which has not just been renamed by Tinubu. He has renamed it to Yakubu Gowon. That is a true representation of the Middlebelters. Yakubu Gowon, a Plateau guy, a true representation that this university belongs to the Middlebelters. There is no need to think at any point in time that that university placed at the heart of Nigeria belongs to the North. If it will not carry the name of centrality, then it should show that it belongs to the Middlebelters, because Abuja was actually taken away from the Gwaris, and so many other riches that has been taken away from them, pushed to the southern Kadunas. You know, most of the people who occupied the Abuja, even before the federal capital was moved to Abuja, were the Gwaris, and these were the people Babangida pushed up the southern Kaduna, and today they are being referred to as the Northerners. So one of the scandals that happened ever since the University of Abuja has been created is the Fulanis have always had a chance to become the vice chancellor. But as of today, or should I say ever since the emergence of Tinubu, somehow the Middlebelters have been able to regain their voices. A young lady, Mrs. Maikudi, was fraudulently, as alleged by the members of the Senate, that she has been favored by one man called Mrs. Kaita, a fellow Northerner, that this man favored her, Mrs. Maikudi, above others who were more qualified. Alright? So, this is how the Fulanis, or should I say the Northerners, they play this politics of man no man, sidelining those that are duly qualified for a position, bringing this nonsensical quota system, bringing this nonsensical nepotism. You know, this was what they did all through the 8 years of Buhari, using nepotistical appointments. As long as you bear the name Bello, Musa, Ahmad, they don't want to check your CV. They don't want to know if you are the oldest staff there that has the biggest or the highest qualification. If you have anything that does not originate or does not relate to what the Fulanis have bias for, you'll be kicked away. 2023, they thought that a man from the south would do their bidding, and then they chose a Muslim ticket. And in just less than 18 months, this man came in and it became their greatest nightmare. Yesterday, Tinubu, his presidential aide by Onanuga, announced that Ms. Kudi has been unveiled to be fraudulently picked when it was supposed to be a Middlebelter, a genuine, a true daughter of the soil, Patricia. You can hear that name. Patricia signifies she's a Christian, and she's a Langtan indigene, a woman from Plateau. Who would cater for the school more? Is it the person who understands that this thing belongs to us, or someone that you are a foreigner? Who do you think is going to cater for that school more? Who's going to love that school more? Who's going to do everything possible, ensuring that that school progresses and it regains its status as one of the most foremost federal university in Nigeria? I mean, so the point is clear that this shenanigans, this nonsensical attitude of nepotism that has become the order of the day, which Buhari normalized, yes, has now been upgraded by Tinubu. I mean, you guys should get what is going on here. You know, ever since the sack of this Mrs. Kudi or Miss Kudi, a very pretty young professor, by the way, but listen, it wasn't your turn. You shouldn't have accepted that appointment. No matter how brilliant or how beautiful you think you are, you didn't deserve the appointment. The president intervened because there was serious crisis. The owners of the land went into strike, so many industrial actions, revolted, was about to get into something more chaotic. And when the president heard about it, and he said, what is going? He said, come on. These Fulani people again? So her name, he yanked her off. Wrote her a letter of, it was an embarrassing moment for her. This was a lady who has just barely spent 3-4 months in that seat. Kicked her out. You shouldn't be there. What belongs to the Middlebeltans should be governed by the Middlebeltans. And he called her, Patricia, where are you? Come and take over your father's property. And today the Middlebeltans are rejoicing. You can see today, when you're talking about wanton and discriminated killings in the southern Kaduna, you can see today that it has reduced when they made Christopher Musa a Christian from southern Kaduna who understands why and what the Fulanese have been doing. Yes, he has been able to sort that thing out, and there has been relative peace in southern Kaduna today. In fact, I believe that Christopher Musa will be one of those that lobbied for Tinubu to sign into bill what we call the Federal University of Southern Kaduna, FUSK. Go and check the discrimination, the marginalization, these northern hegemonies, northern oligarchs. They don't show these people shege. I understand in the 2023 election, the Middlebeltans massively voted for Peter Obi. But at this stage, Peter Obi needs to tighten his seatbelt. Yes, he needs to tighten his seatbelt because the voices, the cry of joy, the happiness coming out from that region. Those guys have been depressed for too long. We listen, we hear them, their cry, their wailing. We have never for one time seen the northern, the core northern elite come out to fight for these marginalized people in the Middlebelt. In fact, the Middlebeltans who have they are the biggest region in Nigeria. You know that theory they tell you that the North has the biggest landmass. Fallacy. The biggest landmass is across the Middlebelt. Okay? It is across the Middlebelt. You have the Kogi, you have the Niger, you have the Plateau, you have the Taraba. Oh yes. And the Middlebelt have come out. I'm talking about the indigenous, the real indigenous. When you're talking about the real indigenous, you never find the Fulanese amongst them. They have no affiliation, no civilization, familiarity with them. No. The Middlebeltans, when they were a member of the Nok civilization. We talk about poultry, when you talk about sand casting, these were the technology. before these colonial masters came on board. We're talking about the best, Lady Kwali. Lady Kwali, this is from Jos, if I'm not mistaken. This was one of the greatest portraits that we have in Nigeria. I think she's one of the Naira notes. These are people who make pots, cups, all these ceramic cups from clay, from the white clay. They made beautiful ornaments for houses. These are housewares. These were their own technology. They made sand casting to cast, farm tools and all that. This was the civilization they were, and they were growing, and this was what extended to the southeast. Yes, to the southeast. There too, they were part of the Nok culture, and of course some parts of Oyo North, into Ilorin and all that. So look into the Niger when we talk about the Nupe people. So show me how, with what I've listed, how they have any similarity with the Fulanis. But today, in the Middlebelt, Fulanis are taking away their lands, suppressing their voices. And alas, when the Fulani felt they have voted for a man that will come and expand their expansionist agenda, they fell into a trap of a Yoruba man who himself is so selfish and has the Yorubanization agenda. And Tinubu understand, for me to achieve this my Yoruba agenda, I have to crack the hard north of the Fulani's hegemony in the north. And the only people that can deliver, just as they did in the early 19th centuries when they defeated Uthman Danfodio at the Middlebeltans, when Uthman was defeated by the greatest king, Ataf Igala, of that time, after you talk about the Oyo Empire and the Benin Kingdoms. So you can see, today, the Middlebeltans are the real basket of the nation. Oh yes, let's talk about that. When we talk about North having resources, when we talk about North having been the food basket that, they are so fond of it that without us, the South will not hit. They are fond of those rhetorics. They threaten us that without the North, that the Southerners will starve to death. But Tinubu has come out to expose them. Look at the map. As you can see, yeah, right? This part is not North. Oh yes, you know how those Northerners, most especially those that are, because you see they now see themselves as Hausa Fulani, but when you check deep down, those calling the shots are the Fulanis, which are the core Northerners, right? So they want to do the same to the Middlebelt. Unfortunately, this man has come to say he has given the Middlebeltans a nudge, telling them, you guys have to what? You have to identify and have what we call self-actualization and realization. Let us have that self-identity. That is what remains. A very beautiful senator from Kogi, Nana. Senator, what's this fair lady from Kogi? I can't recall. I think Senator Nana. Yeah. Just recently I said that the Nigeria society has suffered from bad leadership, and it is because we have had so many bad people from leading us from the north. You can see the likes of Dino Milaye, they don't identify as Northerner. A Dino Milaye will tell you he's a Yoruba man. When you meet someone like Natasha, not Nana, Senator Natasha, she'll tell you she's not a Northerner. She'll tell you she's at, I think, This is Igala, one of the beautiful sect in Kogi. They belong to the Nok, and they say themselves to be more related to the Plateau, the Jos, the Langtan. Oh yes. So this exposure is a new threat, demystifying this political astuteness of the Fulani that is currently done on a daily by Tinubu, so that deepens their hate for him. They are now threatening him that the North will not vote for him, that he is OTP, one-time president, that they will ensure they kick him out. You know, when a person like Bashir Ahmed came out crying wolf, that why should Tinubu sack Miss what's her name again, Miss Mekudi Abba? Everybody celebrated it, that one of the finest brain from the Fulani extraction. And this is unfair. That is becoming too obvious, that Tinubu is becoming too nepotistic. Thus, Yakubu Gowon University belongs to the Fulanis. If this school has a new name showing a true representation of the owner, and they appoint someone from their local region, why are you crying? Are you trying to bring the Middlebelters into your fold the way you have deceived the Hausa people, wherein today the Hausas, they have no voice? They cannot take decisions. The Hausa cannot move a step further without asking their overlords for permission. Is that is that the intention they have for the Middlebelt? Tinubu saw what happened. A scandal, a fraud, pushing aside the duly qualified members. Then somehow miraculously you chose a young lady who was never to be considered just because she was from your extraction. Tinubu saw this and he said, no, this is not going to happen. We will choose a true daughter that represents that school, Patricia. And they have been crying tears of sorrow. They never see anything, threatening Tinubu. And today the Middlebelters are saying that they will, as a matter of fact, with their life, defend Tinubu, vote in. Last time it was only Benue that voted for him. The Jos are now saying that Tinubu must go back. Oh yes, Kogis are saying that Tinubu too will return. Oh, I forgot, Southern Kaduna, very peaceful, beautiful land, are now saying that Tinubu must go back. Oh, yes, because they know how much they got suppressed. Man, I mean, how their resources, their women raped right in front of the men. The other day, I met a young lady, Esther. She's from Birom. She said she came to Lagos last year around November. That the excesses, the suppression that they face in their land is too much, and it is not spoken of. The medias are not talking about it. That in our own village, they have not really faced serious attack, only for this reason, that whenever they farm, they hand over 60% of their farm produce to these Fulani herders. So if they farm 1 ton of maize, 60% of it be given to people who never contributed one thing, who are not even their direct traditional rulers. They will hand over 60% of that to them, and they dare not renegade. if they try to be rebellious before the Nigerian army gets there, they would have been pied. So you can see the inequality